Okay, so workout number 3. So I'm going to do some hip mobility work here. Again, just go slow and careful on this. Just be careful of the inside of your knee on this. I've kind of got surgeries on my knees, so I've got to be very careful here and go slow. So there should be no stress on the inside of the knees. Another bit of hip activation work, and this is a good one too. Again, you can see the all man knees. I'm very careful doing this in small range of movement initially. So thigh to the base of my foot. Sliders, so leg or shin stays off the floor, but be very careful about the inside of your knee here. So you should be feeling this. See, there you go, just up with the glute there. Okay, and think about the bone in your thigh, the femur. You're turning that inward. You're internally rotating as you do this. Small movements, moving like an old man there. So same thing again. Lift the shin. Should be feeling that in the glute and the hip. Really good activation work as well. So you guys put it to move further here. I can't because I've torn this medial ligament off completely in the past, which I've told everyone about a million times. Another variation, weighted. This weight's probably a bit too heavy. So if you have a lighter weight, dumbbell, anything will do at home. Same thing. Sit up into it. Again, really carefully inside that knee. Trying to brace through the midline. I was struggling here, clearly by my face. So you can use any one of these variations. If you're doing multiple rounds, which you probably should be doing, you can either start with the bodyweight version first, then do the activation work. Just pick one or you can run through them, whichever works. If you have no weights, maybe just run through the various ones here, the variations with the bodyweight. Just throwing this in again, more of a movement drill. You can see I'm struggling a bit on balance because knees and bricks are not a great mix. With a rhyme there. So yeah, again, just it's more sore on my knees than anything else here. What I'm doing is sitting up into it, try and bring that knee back to the foot, sit back, rotate to the other side, hip up, step forward. You do like 5, 10 each side, especially if you have no equipment, no weights at home. That's a good variation to do. Onto the pressing work here, we have the single arm floor press. Again, dumbbell will do fine here. Dumbbell or a kettlebell, gentle landing with the elbow. You can push your lower back into the floor here, just make sure you're not arching too much. You're trying to keep some kind of core engagement. Obviously you have both sides. Actually looking up to the sky here is stinging my eyes. So try and do these with my eyes closed. But then I thought I was going to drop the kettlebell on my head at one stage, so eyes open. Okay, next variation is glute bridge. Same deal, that posterior tilt, so trying to keep the glutes active and steady. Probably a fraction heavy or too heavy the weight here right now. But again, don't have any other option or any choice at the minute. Same thing, you can use a dumbbell here. I'm just doing 10 repetitions again because it's a challenging enough weight for me right now. If you have a lighter weight, you can bang out more reps, that's fine. Again, something that should be challenging. If the hips are all over the place as we do this, maybe go a bit lighter. Clearly see some medial hamstring engagement going on there. Probably need to get the glutes going more. The most challenging variation of this floor press. So we have the single arm floor press with single leg glute bridge. And again, everyone asks this question. You'll be able to see it here. It's the opposite side. How can I say this properly? You can see it anyway. Whatever side I'm pressing the kettlebell with, the opposite leg's up in the air. The same thing with the double leg variation. Really trying to keep the hips as steady as possible. Again, you can see I'm struggling here. Done this combination of being tired, not being a morning person, probably not doing an awful lot of resistance work the last week or so, but I'm actually struggling a little bit here. Good shot of my hamstring and bum right now. No kettlebell inside. Okay, back to the upper body rowing. I believe these are called Chinese rows, which I don't know if is a unlucky thing at the moment. But anyway, so what I'm doing here is I'm leaning my forearm on my front thigh. Okay, so it's not my hand or like that, it's just my forearm, like I'm just kind of chilling out, trying to keep my back flat or even slightly arched. Again, my rear heel is not on the ground, so it's kind of almost a split squat position. So the main thing applies here that we're kind of not trying to, do the whole lawnmower starts, ripping the weight in the air and twisting everywhere. I want to keep my torso fairly engaged and fairly static. So I'm in a little bit of shoulder blade retraction, and then I'm just kind of squeezing the weight up towards my rib cage. So the lats are the kind of big muscles on my upper back, kind of below my armpit. I want to get those guys really working. A little bit of core work, shoulder touches. These probably look nothing like the shoulder touches that we see in the warm-ups in the classes. Lol. So what I want everyone to do is, you could even for yourself, is actually film yourself doing a set of these, because you'd be surprised to see how much movement there is in the hips. I'm trying to keep this as static as possible. And again, I'm trying to do that kind of posterior tilt with the core, or my hips I should say. So bracing, as if someone's going to come along and try and just like give me a gentle nudge and push me over. I'm keeping everything tight and braced. And these should be performed slowly as well, so you shouldn't hear your hand landing on the ground, you shouldn't hear your hand kind of slapping your shoulder either. Slow and controlled. So these guys are a little more challenging. No idea what they're called. Oblique pull-throughs, lateral pull-throughs. Again, this weight's probably a bit heavy. If you're on a carpet, you could drag the kettlebell along the floor. Try and keep myself as tight through the midline as possible, passing side to side. You can do like 10 each side. That's one option. Trying to like reach a little further through here. Make it a bit more challenging and increase the range slightly. Something a bit lighter. Grab anything. Yeah, there you go. Whatever. An old pot, plant pot. A little bit lighter. Trying to keep myself tight through my midline. And the good old hip flexor stretch to finish. Again, I definitely noticed a change in sitting down a lot more the last few days. Hips are getting tight almost immediately. I think these are really important for all of us to do, because we're probably going to be a little bit less active generally at the minute, less mobile. So I'm trying to get that stretch there. I was just trying to get my left hand to show through the front of the hip. I'm trying not to overarch my back here, so I'm trying to squeeze my right glute. And again, we can do this at the end of each round of this workout. So even like kind of 5 recovery breaths on each side. Trying to keep the chest down. 5 deep breaths. I would probably recommend doing these at the end of each round. And there are the movements for workout number 3. I hope it goes well. Remember, just fire up some pictures and stuff on Instagram, Facebook. I'll chat later.